me Deadpool is something that I have been saying since the beginning of the school year. And usually the reaction is always the same. Who's Deadpool? One of my teachers actually asked her husband who he was, and all he said was Deadpool's a homicidal maniac. Now, while it's true Deadpool is a homicidal maniac, in fact he killed a guy just for saying that the Star Wars prequels were better than the original trilogy, there's a lot more to the Merc with a mouth than just the Merc. So today I'm here to tell you Deadpool's origin, his powers, and some of the characteristics that make him unique. So that being said, let's dive right on into the origin of Deadpool. And what better way to start an origin than by telling you his real name, Wade Wilson. Now, sadly, Wade was diagnosed with a terminal case of cancer during his late teens. There was no hope for him, he was going to die. Luckily, hope arrived to him in the form of the Weapon X project. This is where he received his healing factor from that mutant we all know as Hugh Jackman, I mean Wolverine. But during one of the missions, Wade killed one of his teammates. The reasoning is unknown, but because he killed a teammate, he got sent to the hospice, run by Dr. Kilbrew and his assistant Ajax. This is where all failed Weapon X experiments go, and this is also where Wade Wilson would officially become Deadpool. Now I'm pretty sure most of you are wondering, where did he get the name Deadpool from? Well, according to Marvel.com, Dr. Kilbrew and Ajax would actually place bets on how long each inmate would live. So they would pool their money together in bets on the inmate's death, or a dead pool. All of the inmates were severely tortured here. Wade was no exception. In fact, one of his friends was so badly tortured, the suffering was too much for him, and Wade killed him just to put him out of his misery. But because the rules say that anyone who kills an inmate is to be executed, Ajax tore Wilson's heart out and left him for dead. Luckily, Wilson had a healing factor which allowed him to regenerate his heart. So he in turn killed Ajax and broke out. Deadpool was born, and it didn't take long for him to go back to his Merc roots. But this time, he had power. Now what powers specifically does Deadpool have? Well, I'd like to say that technically he can teleport, although that's not really a power because he uses a device to do it. So he'd have a little remote in his hand that's like, beep, teleport. So he can't do it on his own like he does in X-Men or just Wolverine. But the main power Deadpool has is his incredible healing factor. And like I said earlier, this was implanted in him during Weapon X. Now, his healing factor was given to him specifically to fight off his cancer. Replace the cells his cancer was killing. Which means you do not want his healing factor if you are perfectly healthy. In fact, in Secret Invasion, the Skrulls made a bunch of Deadpool clones that had Deadpool's healing factor. But none of those clones had cancer or any other terminal disease. So the healing factor started working overtime, made the clones expand and go splorch. Now, the other key aspect of Deadpool's healing factor is it allows for cellular regeneration, meaning I can cut off his hand, and according to Mark Wade, it would only take him a few minutes to regrow a new one. But something else he could do is he could actually pick that hand up, hold it on the wound, and it would reattach. This, unfortunately, that does not save him from having a scarred body. That is what Deadpool looks like underneath his mask. However, one thing it does grant him is immortality, meaning he cannot die. In Operation Annihilation, Deadpool even got Hulk smashed, meaning Hulk punches Deadpool, Deadpool goes boom. 5 days later, his heart was beating. And another interesting thing Marvel.com mentions is, due to the presence of this superhuman healing ability, many of Deadpool's natural physical attributes have been enhanced. So, some increased strength, agility, stamina. And now that we've taken a look at his powers, let's take a look at some of those unique characteristics he has. Deadpool is absolutely insane. Here you see him making 372,844 pancakes Why? Because he got bored. In fact, he talks to himself. He has voices in his head. And these usually appear in the form of a yellow box and a white box. These are actually the creation of former Deadpool writer Daniel Way. And at the end of his run on Deadpool, Way said, "I was free to do anything I wanted because no one really cared." Now, let me explain that at the time Way started writing Deadpool, Deadpool's popularity was like at an all-time low, so no one's really expecting a new Deadpool series anytime soon, and those who were didn't know what to expect. Now, another interesting thing about Deadpool's insanity is it makes him careless. He knows he has a healing factor, he knows he can't die, he knows he's immortal, so he's reckless. He'll dive into a gunfight even if he's severely outnumbered. Now, one of the most interesting, in fact his most recognizable characteristic is Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, meaning he acknowledges that he's fiction. In fact, right here, he's telling Spider-Man that he hasn't seen him since Amazing Spider-Man 611. So in the comic books, he acknowledges he's a comic book character. He can see those dialogue boxes. This action figure right here, if it was alive, would acknowledge the fact that it's an action figure. So, like I said, his unique characteristics are he's absolutely insane, and he breaks the fourth wall, which is why most people like him. So today I told you his origin, some of his powers, and some unique characteristics. My main hope is that next time you are uncertain who a character is, you look him up. You don't just go off one statement. What's some more info on this homicidal maniac guy? And because now at least you know a little bit more about the Merc with a mouth.